A super good morning to each and every single one of you from a sunny blue sky behind a tiny splash of pollution, Granada City. And I'm in my usual park, which means I've got it's a bit, there we go, in between the trees. The Science Museum Tower is sticking out just there. Anyway, welcome to a Sunday morning video, and it is a Sunday morning video this week as opposed to the Sunday afternoon video that you got last week. And what can I tell you this week? I've come to a realization that yes, I've got this super ambitious goal of getting between 4 and 6 novellas published each week. But between the two of us, that is an incredibly, should we say, ambitious goal. And an ambitious goal to be hitting week after week after week after week. So, what is the solution? Well, the first solution I think I should find is, no, none of these benches have any splatterings of shade, so I'm going to have to choose a park bench in the sun. And bearing in mind, last night overnight was 32 degrees centigrade. That's about 90 plus degrees. That was the overnight temperature. So this morning it's already nudging up, probably 35, 36 by only 10:30 in the morning. Anyway, that's not why we're here. So how can I readjust my publishing goal and still, because what happens is I set myself this ambitious goal of I'm going to publish 6 novellas this week, and then the week goes by, life happens, dysphoria issues happen, and I get to the end of the week and I haven't published 6 novellas. And I feel like an absolute abject failure for not having published 6 novellas. And perhaps the whole idea needs to be framed slightly differently. And that's something that I've done this week, because this week we're halfway through Pride Month, and I've got this objective of writing 3 incredibly deep poems about three very different emotional challenges faced by transgender people, myself included, that are very seldom understood by the cisgender population, which gives rise to many cis people being susceptible to the lies spread in the media, specifically targeted against trans people. The first of those poems was about inside gender dysphoria, what those emotions are like when dysphoria hits, and why the choice to transition is one of life or death. The second poem, which is the one that I finished yesterday evening, is about gender envy, and how gender envy isn't actually the ugly emotion of envy that everybody knows so well, but is rather a form of longing for a life not lived pre-transition. And the third one, which I still need to begin working on, that covers the difficult topic of shame and guilt as a transgender person. However, getting back into the publishing front, so over these last 2 weeks, two of these, one of those poems has been published, the other one is due to publish today, and the third one will publish next weekend. But besides that, yes, I managed to get a novella published. And this is the framing that I'm wanting to talk about. The main framing I want to talk about in today's video is, instead of giving myself this massive task of I need to publish 5, 6 or 7 novellas a week, how about I reframe this as, have I published something? And the answer for this week is yes, I have published something. I've got a published poem and I have a published novella. So from that aspect I can say this week has been successful based on this new framing. So with that in mind, that's what I want to impart to all of you. So I'll be looking at the same thing through the rest of this week. Have I published something? And the answer to that for this past week is a resounding yes. So which means now I can get back to my computer and do a little bit of book promotion, because that obviously needs to happen. And besides all of that, try and have myself a fairly relaxed Sunday, and I'll speak to all of you again next weekend. Until then, stay creative. Let me know how your projects are going in the comment section down below, and I'll speak to you then. Bye.